All right, Blake Walley of the New American Media, and I wanted to do a quick report and a follow-up on the big fake news story of the year extending from last year, and that is Russia and their alleged hacking involved with everything that seems to go wrong. Blame Russia for everything, and the latest is from today. It's January 5th, and finally the National Intelligence Director James Clapper testified on Capitol Hill today, and I'm going to be reading some of the highlights from an AP article I found, which I will include with this report. So here's the highlight. He was asked, did Russia hacking sway the results? To which he said that there's no way for U.S. agencies to know. 2 months later, mind you, the best and brightest, the NSA, all of our high-level intelligence, still, to this day, has zero proof of what's going on, if there's actually any connection here to Russia. So here's another quote. The intelligence community can't gauge the impact it had on the choices the electorate made. But he did say that Russian hacking, quote, did not change any vote tallies. So they've already done a recount in several states with Jill Stein, and that didn't work out too well. They kind of stopped there. I think they were getting embarrassed and even losing votes. So, yeah, again, we are back to that point where, okay, they were allegedly involved in the hacking. Well, where is the proof? How would they be able to do that? How could it be that sophisticated? You'd think with all of the resources that we have running 24/7 for 2 months, we'd have something substantial, something easy, but apparently we do not. But yet the fake news media keeps pushing this BS story. Let's find another quote here. Clapper indicated the agencies he leads would not back down in their assessment, even if that threatens a prolonged crisis of confidence with their next commander-in-chief. Yeah, like he cares. Like Donald Trump cares. He doesn't. You're almost done. You're not going to be there. Of course, yeah, the news leaked that Trump would soon name former Republican Senator Dan Coats of Indiana to replace Clapper. So anything he says is completely irrelevant at this point. It's just a joke. He's obviously under some kind of pressure from the Obama administration or the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton, what have you, and they're going to keep pushing this story, keep trying to, avoid the actual results, avoid, the contents of emails that were leaked that they're embarrassing to the administration, and of course, the Hillary campaign and the Democratic Party. Of course, the head of the DNC was already forced to resign, along with some of the top staffers after the initial WikiLeaks right before the Democratic National Convention occurred. So let's see, what else can we pull up on this article. Says James Clapper, he says, an unclassified version of the report will be released next week. So that version, expected to be a fraction of the length of the classified one, is not likely to answer all the questions about Russia's actions. So, okay, well, they're finally going to release a report, but it's not actually going to answer all the questions. So what is the purpose here? So he also goes on to say how the U.S. monitors its adversaries in cyberspace is a closely guarded secret. Okay, good point. Since revealing such details could help foreign governments further obscure their activities. But at the same time, this is obviously a BS answer, because they have no evidence. And, not that I'm a big fan of Clapper, but I do kind of feel bad that he's got to go out in front of everyone and sit and BS his way through this under pressure from the Obama administration, most likely. So let's see, another quote. I think the public should know as much about this as possible, and so we'll be as forthcoming as we can. But there are some sensitive and fragile sources and methods here. Of course they are. Okay, Obama announced sanctions against Russia late last year. Of course, he also kicked out 31 or 35 of the diplomats. They're posturing, trying to act tough, like they're standing up to Russia for their alleged involvement, and it's just complete. There's no evidence. It's getting ridiculous. And this is a nuclear superpower we'd have no business messing with. So, of course, yeah, you announce the sanctions, and of course, Senator, one of the biggest warmongers out there, of course, insane John McCain, and of course, Lindsey Graham of South Carolina said he was akin to, that criticizing the sanctions as not being enough, akin to throwing a pebble, quoting, "I'm ready to throw a rock," Graham said. Of course, Trump wrote, yeah, well, he's ready to throw a rock. Why don't you go out there, Lindsey? Why don't you send your family out there? You jump on the front lines and go start a war with Russia when there's no proof. I have no idea how this guy is such a high level in the Intelligence Committee, or McCain. They both need to be removed. These people they've never seen a war they don't like, and they're getting dangerous. So Trump, I mean, I don't think people take him too seriously outside of their little DC bubble, but it's gone too far. So Trump wrote, I believe this is on Twitter, "The media lies to make it look like I'm against intelligence when in fact I am a big fan." Of course he is. He's got generals on his team. He just doesn't trust the Obama administration and their people. And why should he? They haven't. So, in fact, Trump has been skeptical to the point of dismissive about the certainty of the assessment of Russian hacking, bringing up past failures, specifically intelligence reporting the presence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq in the lead up to the war there. Yeah, and it's a very good point. And these are anonymous sources in these intelligence agencies. Why should anybody believe them? And again, he's a smart guy. He's got his own people. He's got General Flynn and Mad Dog Mattis. I'm sure he's got plenty of other sources that can fill him in and aren't going to go along. That's why it's nice to have a non-establishment guy like Trump in office to, hopefully change policies and get to some sanity here, because the Bush administration was horrible. Yeah, I mean, that was a disaster, the weapons of mass destruction and that whole intelligence debacle. And then look at the problems we've got with the Obama administration and Libya and Iraq and Syria. So, yeah, kudos to Trump. And he's doing the right thing here. So I think that's all I've got from that article. And of course, liberal media, give it up. I mean, you're acting like the intelligence community, and why they're such patriots, and why don't they trust them? Who are they? They're anonymous. So they're just under pressure from Obama to say something to, I don't know, just to get out of this whole election disaster that they had. And it's going too far. You shouldn't be messing with Russia. Or they blame, Julian Assange and pretend that he's involved with Putin when that's completely BS too. Maybe one thing if it was, the source was Edward Snowden because he lives in Russia and you can maybe make that connection somehow. But Julian Assange lives in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, so not. I mean, there's no evidence to say that he has anything to do with Putin. This is how dangerous. This is 2017 here, and this is the elite liberal media who acts like they're so sophisticated, and they're spreading completely fake news. It's dangerous. And that's why, guys like me have to, act and do the news, because we can't trust them. So, and this is a great reason why. Were you messing with a nuclear superpower? You're trying to start World War III because you lost the election and you don't want to face the music when all the emails get leaked out and we see what's really going on, what you're really afraid of. So, of course, Julian Assange also said his source wasn't from Russia, but I mean, even if it was, the emails are true. No one is denying that. He says, but they don't. Of course, they don't want to talk about that. They want to attack the messenger, call him a criminal, because they're terrified, and they should be. WikiLeaks has already announced that 2017 is going to be even bigger than we had in 2016, and that was pretty spectacular. That had a big influence on the election. So I can only imagine once these people, once the Obama administration's out of office, we've been waiting for some more leaks. I think they would have released a whole bunch of stuff. Had Hillary won, you would have seen some of the really awful stuff in the John Podesta. We already got a little taste of it, but they kind of let it go. But I think once, Obama's out of office and we switch the administration around, you will see some more of these emails leaking. The public deserves to know. It's a pretty serious corruption problem, and these people are involved in some pretty disturbing things, and that can no longer continue. It's time for us to build a better country and a better future. So I'm looking forward to that, all the new revelations coming, and I look forward to making more reports and discussing it. So thank you for listening. Peace and love. We'll see you next time. I'm out.